This video is brought to you by Hatsoft. A milestone year in Dubai's history, Maktoum bin Bati of the Bani Yas tribe led his people to the Shindra Peninsula at the mouth of Dubai Creek in 1833. He settled there and declared the town's independence from Abu Dhabi. From then onwards, Dubai was regarded as a fishing village. Today, even with all the massive changes the emirate has undergone, the Al Maktoum dynasty continues to rule Dubai. Visitors can explore the city's yesteryears with a walk along the banks of Dubai Creek. An anchor to the emirate's heritage, the site is a hub of bustling activity with arbrissa and boats gliding along the historic waterways. Under the Al Maktoum leadership, Dubai began to thrive remarkably. In 1894, trading in the area was given yet another boost, as new rules granted tax exemption for expatriates. This led to a huge influx in the number of foreign workers entering the city. Indian and Pakistani traders descended to Dubai to take advantage of the excellent business conditions. While this was a reasonably successful period in Dubai's history, it was still wholly reliant on fishing, trading and pearl diving, and when artificial pearls were invented in Japan in the 1950s, the vulnerability of the region's economy was exposed. However, the financial downturn did not last long. In 1966, everything suddenly changed for Dubai. It struck oil. With the discovery of oil, the late Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum began the development of Dubai. He began transforming the city from a small cluster of settlements near Dubai Creek to a modern port, city and commercial hub. Rashid Port, Jebel Ali Port, Dubai Dry Docks, the widening of the Dubai Creek, and the Dubai World Trade Center were few of the major projects completed at the time. Leadership and vision allowed the UAE to push ahead with ambitious building and social projects. In the space of just half a century, Dubai exploded in growth, building modern wonders such as the Burj Al Arab and Burj Khalifa, which are now very closely associated with the metropolis. As part of the city's efforts to consistently expand, explore innovation and create opportunities, Dubai continues to plan landmark projects to attract tourists and business alike. The era of oil. The 1960s marked Dubai's awakening. The hard work of previous decades came to fruition with the discovery of petroleum in 1966. By the end of the 1960s, all the infrastructure was in place for the city to expand rapidly. Roads, bridges, electricity and water networks, a good telecommunications system and the airport. In 1969 the first exportation of oil was made, thereby securing its place on the international commercial map. At this point, the relatively new city already had around 60,000 inhabitants. The 1970s. Dubai underwent huge growth during the 1970s. By 1977 the number of inhabitants had already passed 200,000. In other words, the population had quadrupled in the space of 10 years. The high price of oil allowed Al Maktoum to start planning what would become the city as we know it today. At the end of the decade the Jebel Ali Port, World Trade Center, and the Garhoud Bridge were already in existence. The United Arab Emirates were formed in 1971 following Britain's departure from the region. 6 emirates joined together including Dubai and Abu Dhabi. A year later a 7th would be added. In the negotiations, Dubai and Dhabi ensured that they would control the majority of the emirates, and that remains the case today. End of the 20th century. From the 1980s onwards Dubai was an economic powerhouse. The airport was expanded to accommodate the recently established Emirate Airlines. Sports and recreation facilities were constructed and tourism was considered as a source of additional income. In this era, new oil sites were discovered in the Margham Desert. The 1980s were also marked by an urban development boom driven by the huge population growth. By 1990 the city was home to 550,000 inhabitants. In 1990 Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed died and his son inherited the seat of power. His plans for the city were even more ambitious than those of his father and gave rise to what we know Dubai is today. The present-day economy. Thanks to the efforts of the government, oil is currently only responsible for 20% of the economy. It is actually business and services, such as tourism, which dominate the economy. Dubai's policy of tax exemption has meant that many large organizations and businesses now consider Dubai as their base of operations.